Stephen Means here after the 52-24 loss for Ohio State in the national championship game. I'm talking about what's the most important things that they should take from this Alabama loss. This is the stage they want to get on. They're one of the three best programs in the country, and they're constantly comparing themselves to Alabama and Clemson. And in order to beat those teams, there's some things they have to take from whether it's a win or a loss, and right now it's a loss. And for me, it's going to be recruiting. You can't have lulls if you want to beat Alabama. Alabama doesn't have lulls. Nick Saban has won recruiting title after recruiting title, and you saw that come to life today. You saw the seniors from maybe the best recruiting class of all time in 2017, Najee Harris, Alex Leatherwood, and Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winner, the second quarterback in that recruiting class, Mac Jones. That's not a recruiting low. You see it in the 2018 class they had, no recruiting low. Even before Jordan Battle got ejected for the game in the first half, that's not a recruiting low. That's another guy who's helping this team. While for Ohio State, in a lot of those positions, you saw recruiting lows. You saw the recruiting lows at running back, which is why Trey Sermon is at Ohio State in the first place. You saw it in the secondary today, which is why Alabama was able to exploit that secondary as much as it did today. They can't have that. You can't have recruiting lows from this point on. You're seeing it at the wide receiver room. They have a consistent thing going with top 105-star guys. You're seeing it at the quarterback position. In 2022, you're seeing the linebackers. You're seeing the secondary in 2021. You have to continue to recruit at that high level if you want to compete at the national championship level. You cannot have recruiting lows the way you did in 2018 and 2019, because at some point it's going to come back to bite you in the butt. Like in the 2020 national championship game, when those are the exact same areas that cost you a game.
Hey everybody, Nathan Baird from cleveland.com. I'm going to kind of piggyback off of what Stephen was just saying after this 52-24 loss for Ohio State in the national championship game. We came into the season with legitimate questions, even though everybody on our staff, when we were picking before the season, thought Ohio State was a national championship team. The one question that hung out there that never really got answered sufficiently, I thought, was defense. And I think what this proved today was, as explosive as Ohio State can be on offense, I think they still have to find another level defensively. You can argue that maybe they had it last year. You can argue that maybe with Chase Young, with Jeff Okudah, with Damon Arnett, that was enough of a defense. It was enough of a defense to beat Clemson in the semifinals and even last year, and it just didn't happen because of the circumstances and everything else that went into that game. I don't know that would have been enough to stop an offense as explosive as LSU. I know what they had tonight was not enough to beat an offense as explosive as this. And there's always going to be a team out there like this. There's always going to be a Clemson like Deshaun Watson. There's always going to be a Alabama like this. There's always going to be an LSU like last year. That seems to be the trend in college football. And if Ohio State wants to be that team, they're going to have, at some point, a defense that interrupts that. They're going to have the offense, too. It's got to be both. And that's why what Alabama has been doing now 6 times in the last 12 years or whatever it is just phenomenal. It's an unprecedented thing, but that's the level that Ohio State's trying to play at. And I think today's game shows them that there's no shame in being as good as they were, having the season that they did, but there still is that gap. There still is that separation. They're not quite there yet. That's the charge for Ryan Day going ahead these next few years.